How did you get along with Bret Hart?
Very, very good. In the ring, outside the ring. He was a great, great, great friend of mine. The only thing about Bret, he was hard to do business with. You know, he was Bret was a guy that was he didn't like to do jobs, and for one reason or another, we were always taught do what the boss wants, and then you'll
Yeah.
get somewhere, and then he had the philosophy of don't do any jobs and you'll get somewhere, so that was the only conflict that we had. That we never had a conflict, never had. But even he was on my podcast 2 years ago. I did my podcast during COVID and stuff, and I meet him. I was with him in England. We laugh, we joke, and I started with his dad. I love him to death.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you think Bret Hart was the best there is, the best there was, and the best there will ever be? You believe
Well,
that?
I think he was one of them. One of them, not the one of them. I think then again.
But he didn't say that. He didn't say,
But
I think I'm one of the best there ever was.
Well, Brett's allowed to.
He believes that.
Brett's allowed to tell his story like he wants to. It's his story.
Yeah.
So I'm, I could go ahead and say, that I think I'm one of the greatest wrestlers in Canada, but it would be my story, So I'm allowed to say it. But I think that Bret is one of a great technician, a great wrestler. I really enjoyed working with him, and that I think we were the same. I think one needed the other. I think, like I said, I just didn't. He got so many titles and he did so many good things and right things to get all those pushes. And I think he also had this charisma. He had this look what the girls really loved. And I think you got to wait there. Tell your mistress you're gonna call her back there. Okay, and you get that, Dutch? I said, tell your mistress you're gonna call her back. Okay, okay.
That's good. It's not her.
Okay.
It's my daughter.
Okay, yeah, it's your story. See, you're allowed to say it like you want to, also.
But
no, I think
was Bret?
Yeah.
Let me ask you: was Bret a national hero in Canada?
I think Bret's I think Bret's a world hero. I think wherever we go around the world, Bret is very much more recognized than any of the other Canadians. I do that. I believe
the story with him and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
You agree with what he did?
No, I don't agree with what he did.
Do you believe Vince set that up for him to lose?
I know he did. I believe that's it. So I believe he did because I know Bret working with him, and listen, we beat Bret in Montreal. Me and Raymond become the world tag team champions in the WWF, and the only reason why that happened was when they got on TV the next Saturday is they never acknowledged we were champions. It's like in the newspaper during the week they said there was the wrong guy in the ring, so they gave us a false pop in Montreal to all the fans. And they did. I heard that they did that with the Rockers. I think Bret managed himself to be put in a position where he became that superstar. I think he did it the right way. I think that me and Raymond and me in many cases did it the wrong way because we were always a yes man, yes man, yes man, yes man. And when that didn't pay off at the end with Vince, my relationship with him, because I was so easygoing that I said yes, yes, yes. And finally he didn't give me what he promised. So I just turned the page on him and that was it. So I think that Bret did the right move. And because Bret did all those moves, I would call selfish moves because we all worked together. We all wanted to have our chance. But I think Bret was very smart. In business, he was very selfish. And that paid off for him. And in Montreal with Shawn Michaels, what happened is Bret Hart was leaving to go to WCW. He was leaving the WWF. And he didn't want to give the titles to Shawn Michaels before he left. And that made no sense. It's like you're working for Coca-Cola and you're going to go work for Pepsi, and you're not going to give the truck of Coca-Cola before you go work for Pepsi. You're just going to keep the truck and you're going to change the writings on the truck. You can't,
things like that, when they happen, actually Vince took that and made it work for him. Then he became the boss that everybody hated. He took a real life situation, which is real, and turned it and made a mint out of it. When Vince was a heel, they were printing money.
Yeah.